Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today, I'm going to be doing a review of the LG 27GP850-B Ultragear. I'm going to go over the pros and the cons and my own real-life experience that I've had with this monitor. And if at any point during the video, if you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. I do got you guys, but let's jump into the review. All right, right off the bat, this is a 27-inch flat panel that's 1440p, which means it's got a good PPI at about 108. That's pixels per inch, so text is gonna look clear and crisp, and games are gonna look clear and crisp. This is also good resolution to have your rig be able to push those higher frame rates, because this monitor does have a higher refresh rate than the older generation, so you will need to push it those higher frame rates if you want to utilize all of that refresh rate. All right, now let's talk the panel. This is a nano IPS panel. Basically what the nano means is that this is an upgraded IPS panel that LG actually created back in 2019 that basically combines much better pixel response time with a wider color gamut. So basically you're getting two amazing things in the monitor. You're getting speed for gaming and color accuracy for viewing it in a much wider color gamut, getting much better colors, more beautiful and more accurate for you if you are a video or photo editor. So yeah, the nano IPS is a huge reason why you're going to want to upgrade to this, pay a little bit more, but again, it's more premium. This is a very premium monitor. All right, now this is basically the little brother to the 27GP850-B, which is the 4K version with a lower refresh rate than this one. But yeah, this is basically the little brother, and it's a whole lot cheaper. The GP950 is $900, where this one is only $500. So yes, the biggest difference between the two is just the resolution. The GP950 is 4K, while this one is 1440p. But again, that's a $400 price gap for basically only resolution. And there are a few other minor things, but that's the big difference. So this is pretty awesome for how much it costs. All right, let's talk the refresh rate. This comes from the factory at 165 Hertz, which is great, but it comes with a factory overclock, which means in the menu, you can overclock this literally by just clicking overclock it to 180 Hertz, which is really awesome. That's a huge bump from the 144 Hertz. So now you're getting 165, and then you go all the way up to 180 Hertz. However, while it's overclocked, it locks the variable refresh rate into extended mode, and you cannot turn off variable refresh rate to then turn on motion blur reduction. And motion blur reduction cannot be on the same time as the variable refresh rate. That is not anything to do with this monitor. That's just how motion blur reduction works. All right, moving on, this has Freesync Premium, and this is a G-Sync compatible display. Now, what that means is NVIDIA actually goes through and tests this monitor to see it's up to their standards for a variable refresh rate. So this is not a G-Sync monitor, but this is a G-Sync compatible monitor. That is something that you do want to see, and it's very close to actually having G-Sync. So if you have an RTX or a GTX graphics card by NVIDIA, this will work flawlessly with that. But as we're talking about FreeSync Premium, let's talk about the motion blur reduction. This is the thing that basically will eliminate all of that motion blur, which is really cool. Now, obviously it does dim the screen on every single monitor. It pretty much does that. But besides that, you cannot have FreeSync on at the same time as motion blur reduction on any monitor currently, I'm pretty sure. And the reason because of that is what FreeSync or G-Sync or any VRR does is it actually matches the panel's refresh rate to your outputting system, whether that be a console or a PC. If your PC is going from 50 to 60 to 62 to 63, the panel is actually going to match that to eliminate things like screen tearing. But motion blur reduction actually locks your panel's refresh rate at a certain setting. So for this one, it's going to lock it at 165 Hertz, and it's not going to change from there. So the actual basis of how motion blur reduction works means that you cannot have FreeSync on just because it just can't work like that. But I have used motion blur reduction and it works great, especially if you're in a dark room, like at night, if you're gaming at night, or if you're in a dark room, it's going to work nicely. But besides that, it gets a little dim. I think it's probably around 250 nits. So it is a little bit dim, especially do it in the day, but at night it's fine. All right, now let's go over response time and ghosting. This has a 1 millisecond response time, grade to grade response time, thanks to that nano IPS panel, which is a big reason why you guys want to get this. But again, yes, so it has a 1 millisecond grade to grade response time, and that equates to basically no ghosting. Okay, so it does have some ghosting. Every panel has some amount of ghosting. However, it is really, really unnoticeable. It's like barely even there. Now let's go over the response time settings. There is off, there is normal, there is fast, and then there is faster. Now, In off, there is a little bit more ghosting. In normal, there's a little bit less ghosting. In fast, there's a little bit less ghosting. And then in faster, there's pixel overshooting and inverse ghosting. So don't set it on faster. Pretty much at all times, what you're gonna wanna set this thing in is the fast setting. That's basically the only one that you're ever gonna need or want. So when you get this thing, it's probably already gonna be in the fast setting, but just go to it, change it to fast. If it's not, that's the setting that you should use for the response time. All right, let's talk colors. This is an 8-bit panel natively, but it uses frame rate control or FRC to output that 10 bits of color, which is amazing, especially again, if you're gonna be doing photo or video editing. Now let's talk about it. This monitor is actually using the DCI P3 color space, and it hits 98% of the DCI P3 color gamut, which is so cool. And that again is thanks to the Nano IPS panel. All right, now beyond all that, and this is the thing that LG gives you that I absolutely love, and this is the reason that I go with LG when I want something for video editing or photo editing, is that it comes from the factory pre-calibrated. So you don't have to calibrate yourself. Comes pre-calibrated with really good colors. And that's a huge reason why you might want to pick LG, and especially this monitor, because not all of them do, but most of them do, especially when you're spending a little bit more money like this one. All right, now let's talk brightness. You guys know brightness is a huge thing with me. So let's go over it. This has 400 nits, which is awesome. That's pretty much like the perfect amount for something like a 27-inch monitor. Now, I've used 27-inch monitors with 250 nits. I've used 27-inch monitors with 450 nits, probably higher than that. But when you get to the 450 nit level on a 27-inch monitor, you start gaming at night. And when it starts like flashing to white in games like Call of Duty, especially like campaigns or flashbangs go off, it starts getting a little bit like it hurts your eyes quite a bit. So 400 nits I think is pretty much perfect for a 27-inch monitor. 350 nits is really good, but I just feel like I want a little bit more. 400 nits I found is pretty much perfect. Everything is super vibrant because you have good colors and good brightness, so it looks beautiful. But as well as that, in rooms that are bright with direct sunlight, stuff like that, you're still gonna be okay because it has a matte display, or not a matte display, a matte finish on it, and it's got that 400 nits, so you're gonna be good with that. The menu system, let's talk about it. This is actually huge, and you guys might be like, oh, menu system, just wait a second. This is a big deal. Okay, so for forever, I have been saying LG has the best menu system of any other company in this monitor industry. However, for the GP model year, the new model year, they updated the menu system and they did such a good job. This is basically like when a car in like 2014, 2015, when cars started getting these beautiful infotainment systems on every car, and it just started being like, welcome to the 21st century. That's what it feels like now. It feels like everyone has been making terrible menu systems, and now LG made a good one, and then they made it pretty. All of the animations with it, all of the colors, everything about it is just awesome. And it's really easy to use, and you can customize your like quick input. So when you click it in, and again, it's all with one toggle switch, which is the best way to do it. When you click it in, you have 5 things that you can go to. You can go to settings, and then you can go to 4 other things. Now, you can actually customize those and set those to different things, like different color profiles or something like that that you want a little bit quicker. And that is so awesome that they let you do that. But yeah, the menu system was really amazing. It was the best before, and now it's even better. All right, now let's talk ports. This has 2 HDMI 2.0s, 1 DisplayPort 1.4, 2 USB Type A's, 1 USB Type B upstream for those USB ports, and then a 3.5mm audio out. And even though it has HDMI 2.0, because this is 1440p, if you are gonna run a console paired with your PC or just run a console on this, this is gonna be more than enough bandwidth to do 1440p at 120 hertz. But yeah, overall, I think they did a great job with the ports, and I really like that they added in those USB ports. Just adds a little bit more of a premium feel to this monitor. Okay, now stand and build quality. The stand is really good. It's that very premium stand that they put on their ultra-wides. Basically, the really nice stand. It's very stable, it's pretty, it has good quality materials, it has height adjustability and a ton of height adjustability. It also has tilting and it has rotation so that it can go completely vertical, which I know for some of you guys will be a huge pro, especially if you're photo editors. Besides that, all the materials feel high quality and the bezels are pretty small. Just overall, this monitor looks really good, especially the back of it. Unfortunately, you're not gonna see the back very much, but it looks very nice. And talking about Vesa mountable, this is Vesa mountable with 100mm by 100mm Vesa mounts, and it does does include screws. So if you do want to mount this on a monitor arm, super easy, super cheap to do. I will also link below to Amazon a recommended monitor arm for this monitor. But guys, overall, this is one of the most premium and well put together 27-inch monitors out there currently. It gives you a lot and doesn't compromise on much. And this is the most recommended 27-inch gaming monitor on this channel, taking into account price and performance. Again, if you want to check out this monitor, there's Amazon linked below for the US, UK, and Canada. I do got you guys. But yeah, this is an absolutely amazing monitor. I have loved using this, and I probably will continue to use this on a secondary setup. Obviously, I can't use this on my main setup because that's how I review every single monitor. But yeah, especially if you guys are photo or video editors or really just want a super premium experience, this is a fantastic way to do that. And especially if you don't want to spend the extra $400 for the 4K version, the GP950, which honestly at this point, I'm not sure it's worth it because 4K monitors are going to become the norm and they are going to come way down in price probably in the next 3 years. That's what I'm projecting. Let's come back and see if I'm correct. But yeah, also, if you're about to say, are you sponsored by LG? No, I just review a ton of monitors and this one hit all the boxes for me. And I think overall for the price and performance, it's probably the best one out there currently. And this was a new model, so there are probably gonna be other new models coming out of other brands, but it's gonna be hard to beat LG. They do such a good job with every part of their monitors. Other companies do a better job with one thing, but then lack in another, whereas LG gets everything really good. Not everything perfect, but everything really good. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you out, help me out and throw a like below. And if you enjoy monitor reviews or gaming monitor reviews, I do a ton of those, so please consider subscribing below to Type C Tech Reviews. But this was Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Type C Tech Reviews out.